Yo guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Watsonville. This is the, I'm getting such a bad clip in right here. Look at how fast the front of the race is getting away from me. You'll notice how small the field is. That's because this is not the P12 field. This is the open 35 plus event. That's right, I'm an old guy. I do 35 plus races. Actually, I do like one a year. This is the district championship for 35 plus. And yeah, the Watsonville course we've talked about, it's been on the channel. It's a lot of fun. It's got this little hill we just went over. One of the few crits where we don't actually start at the finish line. We just crossed the finish line at the crest of that hill. I have one teammate. I don't think we're going to see him at all in this race. Ooh, maybe I just spoiled the things a little bit. But he is at the front drilling right now, also in a Team Mike's Bikes purple jersey. And I got a bad clip in, so I'm going to try to move up. You saw that corner right there. Probably the most technical one was that right-hander. Actually, I take that back. This next left-hander coming up is pretty technical too. One thing unique about this course are these drainage ditches. And you are going to see another one here in just a moment as we make this left-hander. And here is what I'm talking about right there. Boom. And it's just a bit tricky. It actually doesn't really impact how you take the corner that much, but it kind of freaks people out because you just kind of have to like ride it like you have to shock absorb it with your arms. I lift my butt out of the saddle and I just kind of like pump track that little drainage ditch. There's a smaller one right there. And it's not that big of a deal. You just ride through it. But what's going on at the front here? I mean, our plan. Let's talk about our plan because you can tell things are fast when they're single file like this. I'm very close to the back of this field. And my teammate is very close to the front of this field. This is intentional. Chris is a breakaway rider. He has a pretty powerful sprint as well, but he likes sprinting from a smaller group, and he especially likes just being solo. So I see him doing what we talked about before this race began, which is, hey, go hard. And if you can get away solo, amazing. If you can get away with a small group, make them do all the work because, as you guys know, I'm a field sprinter. There's the finish line, by the way. So one thing I have to be very careful about is there are other strong guys in this field, and I can't run into a situation where Chris attacks super hard and then a gap opens up and I'm too far back and I just don't make the front group because I just don't want to miss the front, and I don't want Chris to be isolated with some of these other stronger riders. Speaking of other stronger riders, we have Dolce Vita. I think they were the only team in this race. There were 4 of them, I want to say. They're right in front of me and right behind me. I'm in a Dolce Vita sandwich right now. You can see that they are like blue and yellow. They, with 4 riders in a, I think it was a 15 rider field. So what we started with, something like that. They definitely have like the responsibility to make things happen. We're going to talk a bit more about that. But as I've been talking, already at this point, Chris is off the front with this small group. You can see, I think it was like 4 or something like that. If we can maybe take another look around this corner. Oh, maybe a bit bigger. This looks a bit bigger, actually. He's up there with maybe 5 or 6 riders. So a significant portion of this field is up the road. Guess what I'm not going to do, you guys? Chase teammates. We know we're not supposed to chase teammates, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit back. It says Mike's Bikes on that guy's jersey. He is a development rider. We are not racing like teammates. Oh, and here's Steve Reaney on the right, cycle sport rider, getting to the front. I was waiting for him. I was surprised he missed this split. See, here's the thing with technical courses like this. This is like a 1 kilometer lap. These are very short. You're spending most of your time either entering or exiting a corner. There's not a lot of time to actually chase. So there's always really threatening early on in this race. That's why we're going pretty hard. You see my heart rate's elevated, even though I've been in the wheels in the draft here, because once you get a gap, even though, look, they're right there, they're like 3-4 seconds, it's really hard to close it down because, like I said, you're spending like, it seems like, I don't know, 70-80% of your time on this course either entering or exiting a corner. This is one of the few sections right here where you can actually like put your head down, smash some watts, and that's exactly what Steve is doing because he's missed this front group, and that's not like him. He's definitely a breakaway rider. Shout out to Steve because he's been in the sport a long time, and I have looked up to him as a fantastic bike racer since I was like a Cat 5 back in the day. So I'm looking at him to jump across here. It looks like he's doing some hard work to close down these final few seconds to that group. But here's the thing. Chris has attacked that front group. So actually now my teammate is solo off the front. Situation couldn't get any better for us on Team Mike's Bikes. This is exactly, guys, how often is it you have a plan in bike racing and it actually happens? Like very, very infrequent. Oh, I got to close this down because I can't let Steve get up there. I know he's my ticket to get up to that front group. But like I said, that's not the front group anymore. We're going to catch these 3 riders up here, but Chris has flown the coop. He is off the front. by maybe another 5 seconds in front of them. And here's why this is a perfect situation. Obviously, I'm doing no chasing. With a solo teammate off the front, it is up to everybody else to bring him back. But they have no motivation to bring him back because they have me, a dangerous field sprinter, sitting back, just resting in the draft. This is exactly the situation we wanted. And like I said, it's not often in bike racing that your plan actually comes to fruition. So kind of a special moment. Let's see how things unfold a little bit later. So teammate Chris is still off the front riding solo. He's got maybe 10 seconds, 12 seconds, which on this course feels more like 20 or 30, to be honest. And here's the thing, like Dolce still had riders in this group, and they did their level best to bring him back. And then also Steve took the front and did his best to try to bring Chris back. But like I said, A, Chris is really strong. He is very threatening in this solo position off the front. And B, especially on a course like this, I said it before, I'll say it again, it's so hard to chase on these technical courses. This isn't like a SoCal, four-corner business park crit where anything within sight is basically going to get brought back. Courses like this really reward the brave, the riders who stick their neck out on a breakaway, who are good at handling their bike, who are good at taking these corners, and that's exactly the situation we put ourselves in with Chris off the front. So let's fast forward to the end of this race, see how things play out. Oh, but first, actually, before we do, I wanted to point something out here. Look how Steve's taking this corner. See how he just took that super sharp, like a mountain biker, and then he sprints out of that corner, gets up to speed, and by the time I'm back into his draft, see, he even checked right there. By the time I'm back into his draft, he's already coasting, and so am I. That means that entire straightaway, I spent no time in his draft. Now, this is both a smart strategy and maybe a strategy that ended up biting him. The idea here is he wants to effectively chase Chris while at the same time not giving me, the field sprinter, a free ride. So, I understand that motivation, but the problem is there's all these other guys behind, like the Dolce riders, and basically everybody except me have an interest in chasing Chris back. They're all being hurt just as much by him doing that. So the fact that we didn't end up catching Chris meant it kind of backfired for Steve, but I get the motivation there. I get how why he's cornering this way. It just didn't work out this time. And that brings us into the final. We're just about to cross one lap to go, so about 1 kilometer to go, as you can see. I'm behind these two Dolce riders. I don't want to be this close to the front, to be honest. I'm kind of hoping a couple more riders, I can sneak back a little bit further. And just my luck, these couple more riders actually end up kind of filling in front of me. I'm not sure why they did this. This is the position I want to be in. I don't want to be surprised by a big attack from behind. I also don't want the Dolce riders in front of me just to completely drop anchor and leave me exposed on the front. So this is the position I want to be in. I'm pretty sloppy here with the cornering, and there's a reason for that. I'm not concerned with anybody filling this gap in front of me. There's only 5-6 riders left in this field. It's been a pretty hard race. A lot of riders have really burnt their matches trying to chase Chris back, who, by the way, has probably already won at this point. So I'm not overly concerned about letting this gap open up. I want to keep it smooth through these corners. I want to take really clean lines. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. The draft isn't incredible on this course anyway, so that's the reason. It appears as though I'm a little sloppy in these corners. And the main reason is I want the opportunity to slingshot. I'm gonna hit them early, and that's exactly what I do here. I'm gonna carry my speed past these front riders, start my sprint as early as I can, because here's the thing. First to the last corner, right? We talk about this, guys. I'm first to the last corner. It's a long sprint, sure, but it's broken up by 4 seconds of a rest, which is a lot for sprinters. I'm able to put my head down. Look at the gap I open up. Trust me, guys, it wasn't about the power I was making. It was all about getting to that last corner first. And I'm able to take down the field sprint for second place behind my teammate, Chris. That means we went 1-2 in the 35-plus Masters race. A pretty tough warm-up for the P1-2 race a little bit later in the day, so stay tuned for that. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Good job, buddy. I knew it.